what I was thinking, because if my theory works, it should get everyone over 26k.
Cool. Look forward to trying to test it. Rian,
Okay,
it's always good to see another cricket fan. I love cricket myself, man. It's great. Do you watch the IPL?
Yeah, I watch it.
Yeah. Nice. Xander, soccer and tennis. I forgot how to say your name. Ayn? How do I say your name again? Ayn. Kiting. That's very interesting. Can you tell me a bit more about that? I'm not very familiar with kiting.
I mean, like skating. I forgot to write that.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, skating. Yeah, cool. I like that as well.
Kiting
I see you fixed it. Barry, boxing. Nice, okay. Jamie, soccer, skating, any batting and fielding sport. Nice. I can only think of cricket and baseball. Are there more than those? I guess softball technically as well. Is there any more?
Badminton.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I heard Jackson, but I missed whoever else spoke.
Ping pong?
Ping pong.
Does that
Oh,
count?
yeah. Soccer and swimming and tennis from Will. Nice. Mountain biking, Jackson. Cool. Where do you do that, Jackson? Obviously, I know we live in the same city, so whereabouts do you do that? Yanks. Oh man, that's like so close to my house. It's like 20 minutes, but pretty close. Cool. Well, look, we're going to get into our first game. When we start up, usually what we do is we play just a blitz round. So essentially what that is we're just going to have a very quick game, right? Just to help refresh your memory in everything. And then we'll get into all the deeper, juicy stuff as we go, all right? So, yes, there are other games, Jackson. At this stage, we have 4 other games. But the way we usually do things is usually we spend about 8 weeks on each game. Because even this game we're playing right now, which I don't know if I've even told you guys. Have I told you what the name of this game is?
Constellations. We can all see it.
Constellation, yeah. So usually we play Constellation for 8 weeks. Then we move on to another game which we call Art for All for 8 weeks. And then we move to something called Fish for 8 weeks. And then the next one after that is Proxima, I think. Proxima next? I think so.
Fire.
And then Fire as well is after Proxima.
Fire.
Yeah. So there is a few games, and they're all very different. And you'll see Constellation is very fast paced. This game we're playing right now. When we move to Art for All, which is the second game, it's a lot slower, but on purpose, and it gives you learn a whole range of different skills that you don't learn in Constellation. So anyway, we'll explore that as we go. All right.
Can I ask you to click the link that I sent in the chat? There's a couple of you that haven't logged in yet. I want you to tell me if you see the wait patiently label or not. Thank you.
Yeah, so Armand, I don't see you logged in. I don't know. Hold on, you are. No, don't worry, you are. Is Rain here? Okay, Aaron. I still don't see Aaron today. No, all right. Kevin. All right, missing a few today. That's right. Okay. When you're ready, George, happy to start that game up.
Okay, I will set the map active, guys. We have a couple of seconds to look around.
So another new map. We have hundreds of maps.
Can you all see the big join game button?
Just a little teaser for you as well. In the next couple of weeks, you'll get access to being able to build your own maps, and we'll show you how that works in the next few weeks. Okay. So you might start thinking about the maps that you're playing on, seeing things that you like about them, things that you don't, how you could create your own. But we'll talk about that further in a few weeks.
It's like a
Yeah.
tunnel in the map.
Yeah, and it's called tunnel for that reason.
Can I ask Sapphire and hi? Can you see the big green join button game? Or you're having some issues?
Just looks like it's Sapphire potentially the only one who's not in there yet. Although she's not in here.
She's not in here, okay.
Okay, well anyway. Alright, let's start it up, I reckon, George.
Okay, starting it. Good luck, guys. 3, 2, oops. I started.
So keep thinking through how is this game, how does this game work? What are the key ways that we score points?
You can all feel free to unmute, to share, to chat, to give us some feedback. Any thoughts on the game?
Absolutely. And remember, like always as we're playing these games, it's not, the idea here is not about playing the game itself and winning. I mean, obviously win, that's great. But we're trying to learn how the game works, ultimately. Okay. Who wants to share some thoughts from that first game?
I had a Norton security thing blocking my screen.
Norton security then. Always gets you.
I think on the top of the map, there's a really long line that I didn't notice. I only noticed it after I couldn't connect like these two dots, and I noticed that it was like one huge line.
Right, okay. Can you share your screenshots?
Oh yeah, sure.
And you might like to think about what you might, if you, now we're not going to play this game again right now, but if we were going to play this map again, thinking about what you might do differently next time. So where is it, so from whereabouts on there?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
Okay, so right here, I was trying to like go like this, and like these 2 points didn't connect. So I like try to look. I clicked this one over here, and it like connected from here all the way to there, and I didn't notice. And I think that made me go all the way to the top. I was like at the bottom.
Okay. That's fine. Sometimes there are those sneaky ones in there. We usually try and get rid of those because, you know, just isn't really fair unless you find it. But now once you know about it, you'll be able to use it like every time. What would anyone do differently if they were going to play that same game again? What would you do differently? Oh, Barry, you put your hand up, man. Sorry. You don't need to put your hand up. Just start talking if you want.
Will we be able to use the steals? Because again, I noticed that it said something about the steals at the bottom.
Oh, does anyone else notice that?
Yeah, like if you try to get somebody else's point and it sometimes says 0 steals left or something.
Well, maybe I'll unleash that beast next week. get the steals in here next week as well. This is what I'm saying, guys. There's so many little things to this game that you don't know yet, and steals is one of them. So yeah, we'll go through that next week. All right, look, I think we need to get straight off into some games. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into teams.
Should I prepare breakouts as well?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Teams.
Can everyone in the breakout room have their mics on? Yes, please.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so I see what you're saying here. So we can't hear you at the moment. I can see you're unmuted, but maybe your headset's muted or something. No, I still can't hear you. Is your headset muted? No, I can't hear you at the moment. Anyway, maybe I'll talk through what I think she's trying to say there. Is that dark blue line, if you see, usually between 2 points. I'll share my screen and show you guys. Here. So usually, if we look here, this here. Oh yeah, I'm on green now.
Okay, so I think you can tell if the number is in the middle or just in between all of these singular ones, because the amount of points that you get are on the lines in the middle.
Yeah. So here, this line says 286, but there's nothing in between these 2 points.
Yeah.
But here you can see 3,760.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And there's also, you can see here 680 is there, but there's nothing here or here. But then again, here's another 680. We can't quite see it there, but it is there. Good find. That is how you can notice it. Very good. All right. When George's ready with the teams, we'll go into those teams. But the key thing I want
breakouts ready.
Beautiful. The key thing I want you to remember is that we're here at Synthesis not just to play a game, although that's fun and that's kind of what we like to do as well. The key here is that we're trying to use the game to figure out what are we going to learn from this overall. So, for example, in the past we've learned about how we can learn about communication through playing this game, because if you're playing in a team, which you're about to go into now, you're going to have to communicate with each other about where you're planning on going, and you have to talk through that. So that's why Josh and I know who else said before, Rian said before they would love it if people had their mics on in the group chats, because it's very hard to play a game like this if you're in a team if you can't talk to each other. If you don't have access to a microphone, obviously that's different, but if you do, we'd love to have your voice on. Josh, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Jamie. Are you here, man?
No.
Because we have Jamie on the team and he's logged in, but I cannot assign him for breakout because I don't see him.
Well, that's right. If he joins, we'll put him in. Sorry, Josh, did you want to say something as well?
No.
No? Okay, easy. All right, George, well, let's open up the breakout rooms. And, guys, we're going to play 2 games in a row, same map, 2 games in a row. We'll bring you back, then we'll go back out and do the same thing again, and we'll finish with that escape challenge if you want to try it. And I know Jackson has some thoughts on how he thinks that we can achieve that as well.
Okay, guys, good luck. I'm opening the...
Hi.
Have you seen the new map?
I have. Don't go for what team are you?
Magenta.
What's the game ID?
It's 55387.
Okay, so we're on the same team. I'd recommend going for the big lines, like from top to bottom and left to right, because those aren't like singular lines because they don't have the dots or the other things. They'll be very high scores.
Yeah. But there are a few lines, as you said in the earlier discussion, which don't have points. So the
Yeah,
top
yeah,
and
that's we want.
okay.
Oh, here we go. Okay. That was a very different map to the ones we've played before. What were some things you
Lots of
noticed?
sneakies.
What do you mean by that, Jackson?
Well, a lot of the points were connected by like a super long strand.
Yeah. And also, like, you had like 4 turns or something. Yeah, like your team had 4 turns, or you had 4 turns for each round.
Okay, so was it that your team had 4 turns, or did you have 4 turns on your own? What did you work out?
I think it was the team. Like, I think the team had 4 total.
Also, it was like a very small map, like a very small chess map. So before the game even got over, there was no points, and people, like, once they were done with their thing, or they would just keep taking other people's area, so they wouldn't get connections.
I've got a question. When I look at, like, if I compare magenta, or otherwise known as pink, or good armor, that's fine, and lime and gold, let's say. I look at the difference, and this is what I want you to think about when you're doing anything in life, is noticing how the people that are successful, what are they doing? So when you look at this, why is it the magenta has more points, 7,000 more points than lime and gold? What do you think?
Because magenta made a big amount of connections on one of what looks like ships in the bottom.
Okay, so you're saying, I'll share my screen here. So you're noticing this here, yeah?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, all right, then why does magenta have so many points yet
And
dark
also,
blue over here, who also did a similar thing, they scored so poorly?
Maybe the long line that they made.
Long line, because you can travel like a very far like distance very quickly with those.
Okay, great, I like this. Then why did lime not win? Because did lime not have the most long lines?
Yeah, but then when it came to the clusters at the end, they did terribly.
I think the bottom clusters are a good combination with the long lines maybe.
I think Lime had got less moves than how many Pink did on Magenta.
Oh wait, no, I think it was the like first move thing where you get a big multiplier at the beginning, and like they use that big multiplier on the like big point score thing, and then they used some on the bottom, the rest of their stuff in the bottom.
Yeah, I'd love to hear a bit more about that one. I feel like we haven't spoken about that much yet. So, firstly, maybe Armand, can you point out what you mean by your first move? Can you show like how do you know something's your first move?
Well, like on your first one or two moves, we found out that you get the circle with the outline thing, and like the first move always seems to be like the most profitable, and like and Ryan used it on just like a short thing and not like a long thing, which caused them to like to kind of waste it, I guess.
Okay. Who else? Does anyone else want to talk a bit more about that?
But I think the reason Lime, but I don't know why us and Lime got so close, because Lime had way more connections at the start, like long connections. Plus, we didn't make a connection. But we didn't make like. Oh yes, we did. But then we only had 2 connections that were long, whereas they had like way more.
So the reason why I'm asking these questions is because for us to achieve the escape challenge, and at the moment I've said our escape challenge is to reach 26,000 points, but that's like the first level of that. That's like easy mode. So my aim is that you guys will actually achieve higher than that. So we kind of have 26,000 as easy mode, then we'd go to 27,000 for everybody. It's like, like level 2, whatever of that. Then we've got 28,000, and finally 29,000 is like kind of the expert level play, is if you are able to get 29,000 as a whole team on that map. Okay? If you were away last week, you might not know what I'm talking about, but essentially what we're doing is we do something called a collaborative challenge. So what a collaborative challenge is making sure that we're working together as everybody, even though we're on different teams, we're all trying to work out how we can all get over 29,000 points on that certain map. And you guys will have some ideas on how to get it, but until you fully understand what the scoring variables are, how you actually score, it's going to be very difficult. So let's just walk through very quickly. What are the ways that we know already that you can score? And we can start to think: are we missing something, or do we not fully understand something already?
Long distances and lots of connections at once. But we don't understand why it varies like a little bit. From, like,
I think we just need to figure out what the letters on like the planes mean, or the numbers, because I think we know for sure that the numbers on the lines have something to do with the score, but
and also we've got to figure out the squares.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, so we have long lines. You are like, I'll confirm the ones that you've got already, right? So the length of the line does get you points. Yes, that's one way to score. The second way to score is, as you've kind of got, the number of connections that you have. Okay? There is another way to score, and that's the one that you guys haven't quite found yet. You're dancing around the topic a little bit, but you haven't quite nailed it down yet. So I think we're going to play another game in the same teams, different map. I want you to think about what is that third way that we can score, because that is going to unlock kind of our understanding of the game. All right. So we will start our next map. George will set it active for us, and we'll go back into our breakout rooms, thinking about how we can score that third different way.
I'll need a second with the breakouts because I prepared them for the skip. Just give me a second.
All good. what I might do as well, actually, maybe let's have a quick look at the first game we played as well and see the difference. All right, so let's have a look at this one. This was the first game you played on that map. So let's have a look at this one. So we've got, let's circle these are the places where teams had their first move. Up here, okay, that's where teams had their first move. Then we had Magenta had a lot of long lines, but they only just beat Dark Blue, and Dark Blue had no long lines. They only had the connections here, mainly on this chess piece. Were there anything else that you find interesting about this game? Red had these two long lines and then some connections, and yet they scored so poorly. Whereas when we looked in the other game, one of the teams had only two long lines, and yet they still did pretty well.
But it's because of their starting move is no connections.
Okay. As in over here, you're saying they didn't connect a line to that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Why do you think that matters? Or what does that mean?
That there's less of a multiplier. So they did not get the opportunity for that multiplier. Plus, they missed a turn on that.
Okay. Barry, go. You don't need to put your hand up, man. Just start talking.
I noticed how some of the circles were bigger than the other ones. And also in other maps, there's squares instead of circles sometimes. Maybe that has something to do with the amount of points you get.
Yeah. Squares give you something.
Oh, Josh, you muted halfway through there.
Squares give you like something like 300 points, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so does anyone have a hypothesis that you want to test in this game?
I kind of want to test like maybe how many points you get from connecting different lines to like your starting point. Maybe it's not I don't really know how to explain it, but maybe it's not like that starting point and then you connect it to another point and it's like the total connection you have. But maybe it's just to do with that one point, and like maybe if that one point has many connections, you'll get like a lot of points or something. I kind of want to try that out.
Cool. Does anyone else have something? Yeah, another hypothesis.
Yeah, I'll probably also try that.
Triangles might be multipliers, still haven't tested that.
Barry, is your hand up from now or from earlier?
Earlier.
Okay, cool. All right, George, are we good to go?
Hey, we're all good.
Alright.
Open the breakouts.
Let's go and test those things.
We sabotaged you.
This is like a very chaotic, like, it's a very chaotic map. They embrace this chaos. It's completely honest.
All right, so let's talk about our hypotheses that we had earlier.
I think
We tested them. What did we come up with? Sorry, Josh, say it again.
I'm pretty sure the first move is multiplied, not like added a certain amount of points. I think it's multiplied by a amount, because if you look at our first move, we did 44 and it had such long connections, and then we went up so fast.
What team were you?
Yellow, gold.
All right, let me show you. So, I'm able to do this on here where I can actually move one turn at a time. If if it lets me in.
Can I
There you
just add? Sometimes it's buggy and it skips moves. Just so I mean, not to wonder.
Easy. So this is the first round. Okay, so after one round, you can see the scores. So Lime used their four spots to get those 4 connections. Okay. Red got 4 moves in there as well. Gold just did the 1. Actually, they did 2. They did this one over here as well.
Yeah.
And then the other teams, I don't seem to be able to see any of them. All right, let's have a look at the next move.
Pink is done.
All right, so check these scores. Let's have a look at the scores. 24,000 for Lime, 7,000 for Red. Okay. What happened? What happened then?
We made 2 moves.
Yeah, so you guys put a move in the middle here. You put another one
And we
there.
also put both connecting to our first move. And then the long one also connected to our other dot.
Now I know that what you guys had said, what you guys keep coming up with, and we need to see how this fits in with what our hypothesis was. So our hypothesis was that your first move was very important. Yeah, that's what you guys were thinking. Now, if I go back and have a look here, their first move doesn't look very impressive. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So, what sort of adaptation do we need to make to our initial thoughts?
I think it's you need to have a longer. I think it's multiplier. So if you have a longer line to connect to it, that's way better than having a short line.
Okay. Well, let's have a look because we've got magenta here as an example of a shorter line. Yeah. We've got they've got their first move there, and then they had their other moves there. They scored 5,000 points for that. Who else have we got? Now, dark blue, they haven't even moved yet. Let's see where they moved first. Okay, there's their first move there, and they went right there and scored 2,000 points. You can see gold is just absolutely flying at this point. Let's go forward a couple more moves. Let's have a look at what's happening now. Okay, so now let's have a look at everything. What do we think? Are any of those? Is any of the scores like shocking you at this point, or you're thinking like, why have they scored that?
Yeah, so maybe because yellow has like a lot of connections to that one first point, maybe that could be the reason that they got so much points in the start.
Okay. Yeah, because they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 connections to their first point. Blue, though, if I look at dark blue, let's zoom in a bit here. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. Yeah, they're only on 32,000.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's a multiplier, not something to do with addiction.
Okay, and Josh, do you have any theories on what you think that multiplier is or how that works?
Not really. Just if you connect something to your first dot, it will give a multiplier of a amount, I'm pretty sure.
All right. Well,
Are we going to do the escape mode?
I was about to say we have 6 minutes. Do we? Does everyone want to do that escape challenge before we finish?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll make sure that's good. Is that all good to go?
The escape challenge is the breakouts. I need a couple of seconds for those.
Okay. So yeah. So remember, 26,000 is like the easy mode. If we can manage to get everybody up to say 29,000, that is like our extreme level. So 26, 27, 28, 29 are kind of the different levels. So obviously we just want to achieve 26 at this point. But if you get to 26, don't be afraid to stop. Sorry, don't be afraid to keep going. Is what I'm saying. Except maybe it might limit how much your other teams can score. So make sure that you don't get too much. Jackson, how about I set the game active real quick, so that you can all see the map now. Jackson, do you want to explain your thoughts that you've just posted in the message there?
Okay.
And you can share
My
your screen.
thoughts are. Okay, so
Yep.
first of all,
Yep.
wait, what? The middle rhombus is now missing. Oh,
Breakouts
Yeah.
already, so when
Let me-
you are...
okay, so now the middle rhombus is completely useless. That's fun. I guess we were playing on easy mode earlier. Okay.
Yeah, George, did we change that?
Yeah, you did. You removed several connections in the center of the rhombus.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, look, guys. I think we're actually.
It's called escape velocity, no diamond.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry,
Oh my
my
God.
bad.
We'll go back to the other one. George, is the are the teams the same? Actually, no. You know what? All the
You
all
can
the-
cover the teams.
Yeah, I'll copy that. So there you go, guys. Check that now.
I was genuinely scared for a second.
Sorry, my bad.
I called dibs on the area that gold went to.
We're gonna have to say that in your
Breakout room.
All right. Sorry, guys. So Jackson, sorry, go. Explain. Explain away.
First of all, so you can see that middle rhombus. That's easily worth 26,000 points. Like straight off the bat, that person is good, and they don't have to capture any more points. What I've noticed is after people get 26,000 points, they keep capturing stuff. Don't do that. If you get your 26,000, we should probably try testing getting the minimum amount to see if we actually have enough for everyone. So once you get 26,000, just stop completely and let everyone else get the points. Second of all, these two side strips below the rhombus, if I remember correctly, those are enough to easily get you 26,000 each.
Yeah.
So
That's
if one
what I
person
mean.
goes for one and the other person goes for another,
Oh, sorry.
then
DC,
that's two more 26,000s done. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams, so that's 3 people done. The others, they can go for the bit below the squares. Those 2 bits, or one of them at least, is worth 26,000, and the other 2 I'm not sure about. But the main rule is try to stay away from each other like it's stage 4 lockdown.
yeah. Only Melbourne people will understand that, Jackson.
I've only experienced it max stage 3
There you go.
in Singapore.
All right. Cool. Well, let's get into our breakout rooms because we just about finished our session. But I'm happy to go over time.
Does someone want to? Actually, I'll share my screen. I'm gonna share my screen, and then we
There's only
can.
3 of
Just...
us. There's only
Oh.
3 of us, so we can easily do this.
Wait, there's 6.
No. I think
What do you mean?
that's just the max amount of teams for the map because quite often there's a few air people.
Oh, okay. Which one do you guys want to go for?
I called this for rhombus. Rhombus
I'll
mine.
be in the.
Go for this one.
sides. I'll be the side.
Alright. One of them equals, what was it, like 26,000? So. Good.
On the
All right.
enters.
Let me quickly show you each of the different games, okay? So, because there are 3 games going on. Here's the first one. They had 4 people reach 26,000.
Yeah, this is
We had,
awesome.
yeah, so we had lime, magenta, gold, and cyan. These guys down here. But then blue and red didn't quite make it. That's one. The second one, here we had 3 teams made it. Again, those 3 teams in those 3 places. And this one we had 2 teams make it, the dark blue and magenta. Okay. What's something just before we finish? Is there anything that you noticed different about this game? Anything in particular that is going to that you think you need to think about for next week? You definitely improved from last week.
I think you should go for on the strips, the center point should be on the middle. See, on the left one, it's 83 and 84, and on the right one, it's 87 and 86. I'm pretty sure. That's more efficient.
I think you just need to coordinate. You just need to say, I'm going here, you go there.
Yeah, but we don't know where.
Yeah.
We know the rhombus, strips, and the bottom part that cyan went on this one.
What did you guys? What did these guys do well that the other groups didn't do?
I was cyan, and you exactly had 15 turns to have 26,000, so just enough. Yes.
We would have worked, but I think the thing that's kind of messing that blue up compared to cyan is getting the far walls and not just staying inside of the small thing.
Okay, and based on the 3 scoring variables that we've kind of spoken about, we know that there's the long lines, number of connections, and the third one we still haven't quite worked out, but we think it's to do with the our first move. What any takeaways from that?
I think next time we need to test the top of the ship
Yeah.
because it looks like it might have a bit of potential.
Try out.
But it doesn't have as many connections as the strips.
But for the top part, I think, but it's also essential if you're going for the top to get the top point that green got on that rhombus.
We need to figure out what the letters and numbers on the things are because
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're just random or actually do something.
Hopefully they're random.
Okay, I want to show you something. This is the last thing I want to talk to you about before we head off. I want you to have a look at this rhombus shape you guys are calling it. The kite-looking thing. How many points did they score from that?
29,000.
27,000.
9,000. Have a look at this one. How many did they score from it?
27.
The difference
Right, this
between
one.
them is probably just the difference between them is probably just the
It's just the starting
the
point.
standing locations.
Yeah,
And
the
which
starting
locations?
Starting locations.
Okay,
I
so let's
think
have a look at them then. And let's
I think
have a think.
top and bottom of the rhombus, because that's what the first team did. Dark blue did. And they're the ones that scored the highest.
Why?
You can see that the distance that they put the first ones up at the top and bottom, so they got the most distance on the starting things instead of just putting them in right next to each other. I'm guessing they
Yeah, so they are more.
But is there but other than the starting point, is there anything else related to a multipliers on the order of your turns?
we haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think that was a very successful session today. Although we didn't achieve the end goal of trying to get escaping module Q, I think we made some big steps towards understanding how the game works. So try and remember as many of these things as you can for next week. I'll try and remind you about certain things that you've said, and I'll see you next week.
Okay.
Thank you, Zach.